And it is a Love Fest here with Dr. Mother Love coming to you live and in living color. Hello, my cyber babies. I hope that you all are well and feeling well and having good thoughts because we have a good thought person on with us today. His name is Tim Dura. It's good to see you again. Thank you for joining me today. Hey, Tim, let me tell you, he got 17 jobs. He does. He's done everything. He's a teacher. He's a businessman. He's created businesses. Some of them have won awards. And now he said, okay, listen to this. He said he's semi-retired. Now, you see them airplanes in the back of his head? He's semi-retired. How's that working for you, sir? That semi-retirement?
Semi-retired? You never retire.
Just what?
You just do other stuff. I mean, that's all it is.
I just wanted you to hear that out loud. Semi-retired. You know what retirement means? You know what it means?
Yeah. That means you're pushing up daisies.
No. Retirement means we get to work when we want to. We get to be bothered with who we want to be bothered with. You could tell them, get away from me. Don't talk to me. I done told y'all I'm allergic to BS. So either come at me straight or leave me alone. You got to be like that. So speaking of that, because you have worn and you continue to wear many, many hats, how do you keep it all, I mean, when did you have time to be a fighter pilot in the Air Force? I know that. But then, I mean, that's a pretty big job. And you, what don't you do is what I should be asking you. What do you do? He fly planes, he start businesses, you do all kinds of stuff. And then we're going to talk about your role with the Polk Institute. Let's tell people I know that he's doing. Tell people what the Polk Institute is, what it's about, and who are going to be the next cohorts.
Sure. The Polk Institute Foundation is a nonprofit foundation that supports people that don't have the wherewithal or the ability to take an idea that they have for a business and then run with it, learn how to become a CEO, and start the business. Because you have to have people think they need to have a degree in business or in entrepreneurship or whatever. You don't need that. The Polk Institute gives all that stuff to you. Okay, we have what's called a bachelor's equivalent of a degree in entrepreneurship, and then we have a master practitioner's level of a degree. When you get through the second phase, and the third phase of the Polk Institute is the funding phase. So basically what happens is that cohort members will come in and they're starting to interview now. They'll come in January for orientation, and then the workshops start in February. And they'll run concurrently with cohort 3, which will now go into phase 2 or the accelerator phase. And they'll be in the accelerator phase for a year also. So each program is a year in length at this point. And you start with the incubator phase. Once you've gone through that, you go into the accelerator phase or phase 2. And that's where you get all the nitty-gritty about your business and how you want to run your business, because we don't tell you how to run your business. You have to figure that out on your own, but we are there to help you, and answer all the questions you have, etc. And then we have a board that meets you. The students that are in phase 2 will pitch. They'll have a 10-minute quality pitch, investor quality pitch that they need to make. They'll have to have their full business plan, their one-page business plan, and their master pitch deck ready for evaluation by the board. They give their 10-minute pitch, and if the board thinks they've done well and they've reviewed all the stuff, they move on to phase 3, and we start putting them out in front of investors.
It's so exciting. What is really, really exciting about this is that people are being trained. They're being taught how to run a business. And a lot of people, they'll just, I think I want to start a sandwich shop. Okay, well, do you have a business plan for the sandwich?
The first question is why?
What?
That's our first question. Why do you want to open a sandwich shop? And then
And
we'll
you
list
gotta
the reasons.
so
You know,
you open up, but they don't have a business plan. They wonder how come so many businesses fail. Do you
yeah,
think that a lot of business falls from entrepreneurship because they don't have a plan?
exactly. Especially when you start talking about people that get into the food business. I was in the food business for 5 or 6 years. I've got an executive chef's license. I ran a catering business.
Mhm, mhm,
And what people don't understand, the people that open sandwich shops, donut shops, bakeries, those kinds of things, is they think, oh man, I can make great donuts. Let's open a donut shop. Or I have these great cookies. Let's open a bakery and sell our cookies and a few other things. Or,
mhm.
I really got a good recipe for a hero sandwich, that's different from everybody else's. So let's do that. But then they have no idea what it costs for the equipment that goes in there. If you're going to have a bakery, you've got to have these big industrial mixers. You've got to have stainless steel countertops. You've got to have a proofing oven. You have to have a regular uh, oven. Uh,
Mhm.
you've got so you can bake in. You have to have dishwashing facilities. So you have to have a commercial grade dishwasher. All that stuff you got to buy.
And
And right,
it's not cheap.
it
It's
is
it
not.
is not cheap. I have gone into the stores with people that I know that going to buy equipment. You could have knocked me over with a feather when
Yeah,
he went to get the meat slicer.
yeah,
He wanted to get a meat slicer for something that happened. They needed to get a new meat slicer, and I'm like, what? People don't even understand how expensive it is
that
to
stuff is
not
great.
just to get it up, but to keep it sustainable. And
Exactly.
and we get burned out. Now this program that you're talking about with the Polk Institute. Now this is so it's in 3 intervals, and it's each interval is a year. And what is the cost of this? Because young people are being saddled with so much debt from college. A lot of them are opting to not even go to college because of the debt.
Well, how does free sound to you?
Uh huh. Yeah. I just
Yeah,
wanted to say that. Yes, it is a free
free
program.
program.
It's a free program. So,
Yeah.
how do you fare well? How do you keep them going and keep them interested? Because I've been to a couple of the where they were pitching, and I was like, see, if I had the money, I would have. My husband took my checkbook and my credit card. Like, stop at the door. Just stop right here. Give me your pocketbook, woman. Just give it to me.
There you go.
A lot of them have very creative
Yes,
ideas.
they do.
Now, is there a business that you would not teach them? Drug
It's
dealing, that's off the board already. But I mean,
well,
a
basically
small business.
what happens is they come to that realization themselves
Mhm,
because we will take them down the path and we will basically, okay, you want to do this, you got to do this, this, and then they realize that they can't. So they make the decision, maybe I should try something else. And we go, that's a great idea. And when we ask them once again, what do you want to do?
mhm.
And then
And
that's when
why?
and why? And then they figure that part out and they
Mhm,
find something now that's a little bit closer to home, a little bit closer to their, what their capabilities are.
mhm.
And you can make a dollar doing anything. I mean, if you market it right, package it right, you can make a dollar doing anything you want. The big key is you have to have a passion for what you're doing. If you don't have that passion and you're the type that goes home at 5 o'clock and sits in your chair and doing 12-ounce curls with a can of beer in each hand, complaining about your day, you don't have the passion.
No, you just going to work. You
You're
are
just going to
going to
work.
work.
But when you wake
And
up in the morning and you go, gee, I get to go to work today and work on this. I
mhm.
can't wait. And then off you go. I mean, that's how it should be. And for me, like, look at those two jets behind my head. I flew both of those. Okay. And it was like, wow, I get to go fly fighters and they pay me to do it. I mean, what a deal. And that's what it was, because I just loved flying. I had a passion for it.
Do you still fly?
Oh, yes, I have my own airplane.
Oh, see? Okay, dibs on the airplane. I keep telling people I need an airplane. What do you need an airplane for? So I don't have to wait on the tarmac and
There you go.
take off when I want it to take.
Go when you want, right?
You got to know what you want. And oftentimes, because people can come up with creative ideas, and like you said, you can make $1. You could package it right, and you can make $1 doing just about anything you want. It doesn't matter what it is, but the
Exactly.
passion has to be there. With that passion, does it come with a lot of burnout?
Sometimes, yes, because you got being an entrepreneur. You've probably heard this before, because you're an entrepreneur yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 24/7 job. Okay, you're basically living and breathing this. You have to, because you never know when something's going to happen.
Right.
What fire do you got to put out now? That sort of thing. And people do get burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
So we teach one of our classes that we have, or workshops that we have, excuse me, is called mental fitness. And we teach budding CEOs how to basically deal with stress and burnout, and the things that they can do, and to prevent that, and keep stay focused on what they need to do. So we try to cover that. And then we have phase 4. Okay, phase 4 is our alumni program. So what we do is, the people that have gone through the cohorts now, and they're out there actually doing business,
Mm-hmm.
we invite them to join the alumni program. Because when you are the CEO, you are the business owner, it's lonely at the top. I mean, that's just how it is. And you can't really project, a sad or bad attitude to your employees, because then that stuff just spreads like wildfire. So you always got to be positive. You always got to be upbeat. And even though things might not be going too well for you, you still got to put on that happy face. But when you go into the alumni program, now you're talking to other CEOs, other business owners. You're on the same level. Some of these people you went through the same cohort with.
Mm-hmm.
So now you start talking about pain points. What's going on with you? Why are things not working out? Here's a recommendation. This is what I did. And you start exchanging ideas. And that's what phase 4 is all about. We bring in a guest speaker to basically run a seminar type deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do roundtable with the CEOs. If they want, we'll do breakout rooms, those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And just give these people a chance to talk it out with their peers.
Now, do some of them, when you're going through it, because we have a brilliant idea, but when you sit down to flesh it out, it might not be the right idea for you, or maybe it's not the right idea at the time. Yep. How important is timing?
Timing is critical, especially now. You've got, the business world is changing like almost daily. There's something new.
Daily. It's something new to learn every day.
AI.
I get up and I go, okay, what am I going to, thank you God for waking me up, because I know I'm your favorite. Okay, what am I going to learn today? One of the things I've always done since I was a kid was I would learn a new word. Yep. What it means, how do you use it in a sentence? And then I realized that a lot of words we don't even need, there's really no need for them. You can just I'm like, you really, we waste the language on that? Please, how many times can you say hi? We don't, it doesn't need to be that serious. And I do believe that all of us should know another language other than our native tongue. All of us should learn another language.
Being bilingual has its advantages.
Oh, great advantages. And a lot of people, don't even, especially a lot of my Latino brothers and sisters, they don't want their kids to speak Spanish. And that's really okay, but they would have 2 languages there, right? Okay. One guy, he came over here. He was dirt poor. He made a great living for himself. He's retired, a very wealthy man. His wife still cannot speak English.
Well,
They done raised 5 kids. She understands it. She understands it very well. But she need to learn another language for? That's what she said. And I was like, okay, I'm with that. And she prefers that like me, she wants me to speak English to her, even though she
okay,
answers me in Spanish. So you pick up a little bit here and there, and I
well,
think
sure.
that's a good place to be. Don't be afraid to learn something new. And sometimes everybody, it's too hard. It takes too much work. I gotta pay attention. Okay, but you want all the hand. You got a handful to give me and a mouthful of much obliged. Just give it to me. I don't have to work for it. I don't have to do anything. Just hand it to me. Okay, yeah, right. And then when I'm dead, then what you gonna do?
There you go.
You got to make a plan. You got to have a plan. And how when people are coming to you, I mean, do they come with with an idea? Does the Polk
Yes,
Institute help them flesh out an idea?
yes.
How does that work?
Well, during the interview process, they have to submit a resume.
Hmm.
They have to do a 2-minute video, 2 to 3 minute video introducing themselves and their business idea.
Hmm.
Then they go before a board of 3 people usually, and the interview takes place, and it's about half an hour in length. There's a series of questions that are asked. The questions are all the same to
Hmm.
everybody. And from what we hear, based on, first of all, the video that we saw, their application, resume, and the rest of it, we decide whether or not they have a viable idea or not.
Hmm.
And then if they don't, we basically let them know that we don't think, that this is the time for whatever business you're trying to start. If you want to elect to try something else, feel free to do so. But, we don't accept them at that point. Now,
Okay.
we will, if they come back with another application and interview with a different job idea,
Hmm.
and they present it, and it's something that makes sense this time, then they would be invited to join the cohort.
That's really something, because you talk about, teaching them and instructing them and guiding them to become CEOs of their own company, own it. And when you're an entrepreneur, the buck stops with you. So, I mean, you got to be willing to, and I found this out, when you're starting your own business, you got to be able to know what everybody else's job is, because if you
Yep.
have to step in and do that job, you need to know how to do it, and you need to have a plan. Because I have worked with some people. I mean, they are all over the place, and I'm like, okay, can you just like slow your roll? Let's just focus on this one thing right here. You're giving me too many words. I told you some of these words don't matter, and it can get overwhelming. And I talk for a living, and sometimes I just want to just be still, just be quiet. It doesn't last like really long unless I'm asleep or something like that, because it's every day is exciting. Every day there's something new to
Yep.
learn about yourself. Now, you've been doing this for quite some time. How has it allowed you to grow as an entrepreneur and
Oh my
watching these
goodness.
young people?
It's been an adventure. Let's put it that way. I
I know
I
what that means. You
I
don't know which way we go. Oh Lord!
yeah.
But then you got to make it make sense.
There you go. That's just it. And well, after I retired from the Air Force, I knocked around for a couple of years doing some different things. But then my mom always told me you'd make a great school teacher, and I'm kind of going, what? But
Mothers
after,
know. Mothers know.
yeah, well, she was a teacher. All my aunts were teachers, and she said you got the makings for it. And I said, well, so finally I said, okay, I'll give it a shot.
Mhm.
And so I taught for 20 years, and
I think that's more than giving it a shot, Tim. You're doing it for 20 years. Oh
yeah,
no, that's pretty much what you do. So I
I
gave it a
taught
shot for
middle
20
school.
years.
I taught middle school for the first 7, then I taught high school for the last 13. And while I was teaching high school, that's when my principal came to me and said, threw a book down in front of me that said, introduction to entrepreneurship. He said, "Can you teach this?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I've got a minor in it. It's on my authorization. I can teach this."
Okay.
So I said, "Okay, you're starting next fall." This was in the spring. He said, "Starting next fall, you're teaching 2 classes of entrepreneurship," and away we went. And it was a lot of fun because I learned with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the program was sponsored through the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, or NFTE, and we got great support from the NFTE program. They provided all the books. They provided all the resources. We held competitions. The kids learned how to pitch. They did an 8-minute pitch for contests. The first year we didn't quite understand how it worked, so none of our pitchers made it past the second round. But for the next 6 years, we took kids to nationals every year out in New York City. So they learned how to pitch really well, and they were competing for cash prize of $25,000.
To pitch an idea.
Cold hard cash, $25,000.
Well, you guys have something like that too, don't you? Where you have people come and pitch to you.
Yeah,
Do you ever think this is a crazy idea? It just might work.
Well, we've had some interesting variations, let's put it that way, of what
you were looking for that word. You're like, how can I?
Well, we have coaching sessions, okay? And so, we get 4 or 5 coaches together, and they all pitch to us, and we give them a group input, and then they go off and work, and we'll send a coach in with them, and they work individually, and then they come back and pitch one more time, and we do that in 3 different sessions. So by the time that they've done their last dress rehearsal pitch the night before the contest, we've listened to it, we've critiqued it, we've given them all the recommendations we think that they need. Mm-hmm. But we tell them that, hey, this is your business, you do this, the way that you want. But, if you want to be competitive, you need to listen to your coaches, because trust me, we've been down this path before. So we had one guy who came in, he was coachable. That's a big word for us. You got to be coachable. And so, he went through the sessions, and then the day of the competition, he came in and pitched something totally different. We had no idea what he's talking about,
What?
And so we're going, huh? What's this? Of course, he didn't win anything.
What? No, he couldn't have been shocked.
So the whole thing blew up in his face, basically. And so, we've had a couple instances like that. But usually the ones that we talk about being coachable, we talk about being humble, hungry, and smart. Okay?
I got 2 out of 3 of those, I think.
Well, take your pick of which are the 2.
It depends on what the day is,
There you go. So anyway, so if you can find someone like that, you can work with them, and those are the ones that usually place. We've had all the pitch competition winners, except for one pitch that we had, were cohort members.
How about
everyone? Yeah, and we're not the judges. We bring in judges.
Okay. So it's clear.
They're business owners, they're VPs of finance, or this or that, or something else. And these people are high powered, and so there's no influence from the Polk Institute in regards to how these people do. I mean, they come in, they pitch to 5 judges that have never seen them pitch before. And the judges, based on what their background, they look for certain things. Somebody that's a banker, what are they going to look for? What do your financials look like? What's your ask? Did you ask for too much? Did you ask for too little?
Right.
So
You got to know your worth too.
yeah,
You got to, one thing I found out, you have to be willing to walk away. You have to be
mhm,
willing to walk away if it sounds like bad advice, and usually when you get that feeling in your gut, and people don't want to trust their guts anymore. It's
what?
just all got to be down on paper. But what if, you brought this up before, passion. You got to be able to have enough passion that you don't want to take your baby and hand it over to somebody and they start abusing your baby. If you've been working on this and nurturing it and massaging it, this is something very, very special to you. And you should not just say, well, one thing I found out, they said, don't do it for the money. What are you doing it for? Okay, I got the passion for it, so why wouldn't I want to get paid for it? And people
Exactly.
act like that's a dirty word when you say, "What's your ask?" They, what if I say I only want to make $10,000, but I really want to make 20? Well, why wouldn't you tell them you want to make $20,000? I
That's
don't
what
get that. Why
I'm telling
people don't want to believe in their worth? Because see, to me, when you don't believe in your worth. And some people can get really, really arrogant with it, and they think they come in, think they know everything. You don't need
Oh,
to tell me nothing.
oh yeah. Yep, yep,
Oh, you get that? They come in,
yep,
I know what I'm doing. I already run a company. But what you sitting in the
yep,
class
yep.
for? What you wasting people time for if you already know everything?
That's
That's what
it.
how do you deal with the know-it-alls when they come in? And can you tell? I mean, you've been doing this for a while. Can you tell pretty much when they
Oh,
coming in with it?
oh yeah. It's real easy. And those are the people that are not coachable because they already know it all.
So,
So if you try to say, well, maybe you ought to think about doing this a little bit different
mhm.
so that it makes more sense, you might actually get some money out of this. They don't do it. Nope. My
It
way.
right. And if your way was working, sweetie, why do you want to come in to ask me? I thought you knew everything. You don't know crap from apple butter. So sit
There
up
you
there,
go.
act like you take some notes. Close your mouth and take some notes. Now I'm a good note taker too because I listen. And a lot of people think she just run her mouth. No, I don't. I pay attention. I want to know. And if it's someplace or somebody or something that I want to know, I'm going to go find out about it. Now, has there ever been any I want to ask you this about, because you say this is to get them to entrepreneurship so that they're running their own companies and they know
Yeah.
how to do it well. Because a lot of women are, are in the workforce now. You can't get us out of the workforce. What kind of a ratio of men to women, or does it
Oh,
matter?
it's it. Well, one, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Okay, but like in cohort 3, I think there's 16 women and that started and 9 men that started. And that's we've had some dropouts since then, but I think there's about, yeah, 8 women and 3 guys left that are active. Okay, so the women are hanging in there, and they all. I mean, one of the women that's in cohort 3 just won the last pitch competition in October.
How about that?
Yeah,
How
she's
about that? When they go through the training, do they come back and offer their wares to the next group that's coming in after they finish all of the modules? I don't know what
well,
you call them,
we'll have
modules.
to come back and do coaching and guest speaking. Sure, we've
Hmm.
done that.
That is really, really cool. So now that you're still flying, got your own plane, you go out and you do this. What else how is semi-retirement working for you, Ted? You done 11 things. I'm still trying to get to. Yeah, he's semi-retired, right? Okay, sure. I was trying
Yeah.
to do that thing too. And do
Well,
you still get like butterflies? You still feel that in your gut when you know that it's gonna be good.
oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's. I mean, like you said, it's every day there's something new.
Hmm.
And if you're stupid if you don't take advantage of learning something
Did
new.
he just say you stupid?
I mean,
You made it sound like a cuss word.
well, you just kind of, it's like, God, slap yourself in the face. Why didn't you do this? because the opportunity was there and you let it go by. I mean, think of all the things in your life that you could have done but didn't. Okay. And your life went a different direction because of that. Now, maybe it went in a good direction, maybe not so good. It's just, it all depends on, when opportunity knocks, you better take a look.
You gotta know when to take it. You got to
Yeah.
know when to take it, when it's going to be, and make it. When I came out, they brought me out here from Ohio. I was
Mm-hmm.
driving a school bus. You could, if you had told me I'd have been doing this 25, 30 years ago, I would have like, okay, and what kind of medication are you on? You you got to be crazy. You must be seriously. And I saw when the opportunity came to me, and I was like, I'm just going on the fly. They called me, they want me, they're sending for me. Okay, just go. I knew one person in the entire state of California, one. The guy that brought me here. And they keep waiting for me to come back to Cleveland. They keep, when you coming home? I'm like, sweetie, I'm at home. I'm at the pond. No, we talking about when you come up. I live in California. They don't believe. And people get so jealous of other people when they do well, when they seize an
Sure.
opportunity, and I just could not understand that. Why would I not want to see you succeed? I want to see you succeed, and how can I be of service to help you get there? And some people just don't want to do it. I don't know. Maybe something goes off in their head, or they're afraid of failing. I feel like if you're afraid of failing, you're afraid of succeeding. Because if you think
Well,
you're going to fail at something, you probably will. If you think
exactly.
you'll succeed at it, you probably will.
It's just it. Are you going to look at life through a glass half full and keep adding to it, or a
Mm-hmm.
glass half empty, and be fearful that you're going to lose what you got left in the glass? I would rather. I've always lived by the glass half full rule. Okay, that's how I live my life. Uh, I I don't like naysayers.
Oh,
I if
what the
people tell
kids
me,
call them, haters.
well, if people tell me I can't do something, guess
Oh,
what?
oh. See that you don't tell
It's not,
somebody who has a vision that they can't do something. Really, watch me. What they
yeah,
say
well, that's
in St.
exactly
Louis.
my
I,
attitude.
in St. Louis, they say, what they say, I could show you better than I can tell you. Since you don't think I can do this, I'll show you that I can.
There
Because
you go.
and sometimes you gotta fight with them. Sometimes you do, and you just have to. And sometimes you just gotta walk away from it. Like Kenny Rogers with the gambler, he said you gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Told
And
them.
sometimes folding is a good thing. Sometimes it's good, to back up from something because you could get into it so far that you feel like it's just consuming me. How does an entrepreneur? I got two questions. What's a good pitch, and how does an entrepreneur make sure that they, like you said, the mental health part of it? Because a lot of people don't handle being CEO well. They're just not good at it. They're just not good at it, and they lose a lot. What's a good pitch to you? Because you said
Good
earlier, you
pitches.
said when they come, all of them got a pitch, and you ask them all the same questions. And I wonder, how does that work? Because if you got somebody want to open up a bakery or somebody want to open up a bowling alley, how does
Mhm.
those, how do you come up with the questions? Because it's two different things, two different businesses.
What you do is, and this is the first thing I do when I start teaching people how to pitch,
Mm-hmm.
is I ask them, tell me about yourself and tell me about your life. Think of something that would be related to that bowling alley or that bakery, okay, that affected you and made you want to open this thing. And we call that the hook, all right? And you usually got to get the hook out there and catch the audience within the first 30 seconds to a minute, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you take your story and you open up with a question, factoid, uh, or just start telling a story about
Mm-hmm.
you, or maybe the girl that won the pitch competition told about her grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
and a story about how he uh, had a restaurant and vaudeville theater type thing in Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and in Tulsa. His place got burned down during the, I
The
can't,
massacre.
yeah, exactly. And his place got burned down. Fortunately, he wasn't killed, but that kind of zeroed him out. But
Right.
he just shrugged it off and said, okay, and he rebuilt and became very successful and very wealthy. And so she told that story about her grandfather and the persistence and the grit that he had to be able to just
To
suck it up.
keep it going. People, and
Yeah,
they don't. That's not part of American history that they want us to remember. You're not supposed to do that, and just pretend it really didn't happen, and it did. It affected a lot of people. Our
I'm sure.
family was affected directly because of that. That's how our grandfather got to Ohio because of the Tulsa massacre. He
Yeah.
got out of there. Him and I think it was like 22 of them. I mean, who has 22 children? My grandmother, my great grandmother, she had 22.
Oh my God.
No twins, no triplets, no
Oh,
fourplets, no triplets,
holy
no
jeez.
22. She had 22. She had, if I'm not, she
Talk
had
about
11
barefoot pregnant.
sons. She had
God.
11 sons and 11 daughters, or 10 sons. I mean, yeah, she said, this is the story. She said, they say she told her husband, can I just put both of my feet on the floor one time?
There you go. I mean, that's craziness.
But that's what they did. And they got out and everybody was safe. And,
Oh, that's
it took a lot out of people, and for
good.
them to keep going, for any of us who have gone through adverse situations, and become successful, that in
Yeah.
and of itself is a story. Because people
Yeah.
come from all different backgrounds and they say, well, this is what I'm going to do. And they do it. They do
Mhm.
it. And it's going to always be people saying, I don't know what they're talking about. But encouraging people. Now, this is for adults because do you ever bring in, because a lot of young kids have really good ideas. Is there an age limit? Like, do they have to be 18?
For the cohort, to come into the cohort, we would prefer that they're either not in college or graduated from college before they start, simply
Oh,
because of it's not so much the workload, but it's the maturity level.
mm-hmm.
Okay, these you're still forming. Your brain isn't fully formed till you're like 22 or 23,
And
and
sometimes later.
sometimes later, they always claim that guys are 5 years behind women when it comes to maturity and that.
Hey, hey, don't be telling that out loud.
I know that's secret, right?
See,
But anyway,
I think that's why men feel when they say they feel intimidated by a woman. But a woman cannot intimidate a grown man. She probably could, but really, really, no. See, the problem with those kind of relationships is men think they know everything. And we already know we know everything. And if y'all would just listen to what we say, like your mother told you, Tim, you'd make a great teacher. And you're like, yeah, what? And ended up, I'll give it a shot. 20 years is more than a shot, baby. That's a career. That is a
yeah.
career. So you still have a passion for teaching.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I teach 3 months of the 11 months that they have
Uh-huh.
class, I teach 3 of the months. I teach intro to entrepreneurial finance. I teach business plan 101, which is how to write a business plan. And then I do the capstone. Capstone is where now they should have their business plan done.
Mhm.
They should be working on their pitch decks, and we start with the pitch decks and teaching them how to pitch and start coaching. Because in the December, January, I think this year it's the 13th of January, the phase one kids, the incubator people, they will be pitching. They'll do a 5-minute intro pitch
Mhm.
about their idea. It's an informational pitch,
Mhm.
and they'll do that. And there'll be people out there that we're going to see the audience with every kind of people we can find besides, their family and friends. I mean, we'll get bankers, we'll get financial institution people out there, we'll get just people that might have an interest in. And these businesses, once they're done pitching, they have a booth. So they go back to their booths, and then there's a networking period at the end, and then they network with all these people that came to the competition. So maybe that way they can form a relationship, right away.
Mm-hmm.
And someone will come up, hey, how would you like to come intern at my business for 3 months or something like that? And those opportunities have been made available to our cohort members. We've had a couple of people get funding straight from phase 1 during the network phase.
So that's got to be quite promising when you see them going from, coming in, pretty much a novice, and then they leave with the skill set that they could run a successful business. And it doesn't have to go into the toilet. You could do it. And things are changing. And a lot of people, when they have no, this is the way I want to do it. I don't care about the technology. Well, how you think you go? And I can talk about those people because I was that person. The computer is evil. I don't want that evilness in my house. No, people can just sit back and make up lies about you, tell stories on you, make up stories. You don't know half of what to believe. And this was it literally, my computer was almost out of, it was almost outdated by the time I opened it up. But they make sure I keep an up-to-date computer because I am not a tech person. I'm like this, face to face. I want to see you. I want to touch you. I want to hug you. I want you hugging on me. I'm for that human connection, and that's one of my strongest attributes is I have the ability to connect to people, and even the people I don't like, because you're not gonna like everybody. Everybody's not gonna like me.
Can I connect with them?
Say it again.
Like you said, you connect to the people you don't like with the right hook.
Oh no, I'm a non-violent person. Cause see, I'm from the hood. I would not fight fair.
Oh well, there you go.
You going upside your head with a brick. My mother used to say, "Don't let them get prepared to fight. Whoop them while they taking off their jacket." And I was like, I don't think I want to learn that skill set. I mean, I could if I had to. I'm very nonviolent because, like I said, I got an apron in my house. This is how crazy I am. I do all the cooking, 99.9% of the cooking. I have an apron that says, "Don't make me poison your food." This is what's funny. My husband brought that for me. He said, "Oh, you're going to love this one." I was like, you do know what that says. Don't make me poison your food. Some people you don't mess with. You don't mess with the person cooking your food, bringing you your medicine, and the people doing your banking. Those should be your very best friends that you trust with your life, because them are the ones that could jack you up. Don't mess with nobody messing with your food. Send it back. No, that's all right. I'll put it in a bag for me. I'll give it to somebody. I'm not gonna eat it. But you have to know what your limitation is. You have to know because you do this and you've been doing this for a while. Are you still coachable?
I'm coachable, sure. I'll listen to anybody. I try anything once, If I try it again after I kind of blew it the first time, then it's like, the old saying, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. Well, that's what it is. But you said, I'll try anything once. I'm pretty much game for anything.
See,
one thing that, fighter pilots have in common is that they never grow up. Okay.
And he said that out loud. I've heard that from me. He said fighter pilots don't grow up.
We're not scared of trying new stuff.
You're crazy. You're taking a sick. I don't even know how much a plane weighs, and you put it up in the air and you land it, and it had people on it, and you're people on it. And I'm like, and you thought that was fun? It had to be though, to fly.
Oh yeah.
I used to be terrified of flying. Listen.
What?
I threw my child through the first time I ever got on a plane, and the plane got ready to take off. I literally took my son, he was a baby, and threw him down the aisle. I was so glad the flight attendant was there. I was like, wait a minute, it's moving, it's going up. I cut up so bad on the plane. And you know how when they close the door on the plane and they say, okay, once the door is closed, nobody can get on or get off. Well, I was on the plane and I don't fly by myself. So I'm on, okay, so what is another 200 people on the plane? I don't know any of them. So I get on the plane and my husband said, no, you go get on the plane and I'm just going to take the rental car back. I was like, no, let me go. He said, just get on the plane, honey. I cut up so bad on the airplane.
Wow.
I just acted up. I rent my clothes because he wasn't sitting next to me. And he was at the door and they were trying to calm me down. And I was like, oh, I was scared the children that was on the plane. I didn't care. Everybody getting off the plane. So my husband, he's knocking on the door and she said, no, the door is closed. You can't get on. He said, you're going to open up that door one way or the other. You're going to open up the door and let my wife off, or you're going to open up the door and let me on. And she was like, no, you can't go against protocol. So in the pilot car, he said, do you have a Mr. So and such out at the door? She goes, yeah. He tell her, open up the door and let him in. Either let him in or let her off. He got on the plane. Everybody wanted to beat me to death. They wanted to whoop my behind. I threw my wig in the back of the I tore off my shirt. He said, okay, let me, and then put your clothes back on. Sit down. And I sat down. It was the first time I ever went to sleep on the airplane.
Wow.
Ever. I flew from here to China and then go to sleep. I cut up so bad. What can we do to calm me down? Please, little lady, please, you scared the children. I don't get up on these kids. Let me up.
Well,
then
I'll tell you this, you wouldn't want to fly with me because, another saying fighter pilots have is, it isn't flying unless you can do it upside down.
Well, okay, but that's crazy. I know you guys have to fly upside down, but right side up, that was enough for me.
You land right side up, but if you don't like flying upside down, you're not going to be a fighter pilot.
Oh no, you wouldn't listen. I thank you for your service, sir. I thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you very much for being willing to put your life on the line for people you don't even know, people you don't even like, and you were willing to put your life on the line. I thank you from all the thankless people who don't say thank you. Because see, I'm the kind of person, I'm going to be the witness. Let me tell you what happened to Tim. I saw it with my own two eyes. Let me tell you the story. I'm not. See, people like you that are willing to strap on equipment and go into a battle, whether it's in the air, whether it's a firefighter, if it's the police officers, the Coast Guard, anybody that's willing to strap on listen, I got your back, baby. I got you. I'm not putting on no uniform. I don't like y'all like that. No, I had one son. I wasn't giving up. Please, I got one child. I come from a military family.
Really?
I come from a military. My father was in the Army. My grandfather was in the Army. Two of my uncles were in the Navy. I had two brothers. One was in the Navy and one was in the Army. And then after he got finished with his tour in the Army, he decided he wanted to join the Marines and become a military police officer. See, wow. I know he's crazy. So I come from a long line of people in the military. I really do. And I respect you all for what you do. I'm going to be the one to tell them what happened when you went past me. I'm going to give them, and I'll take copious notes. Oh, no. Everybody's not fit for everything. Just because you can do it don't mean you should do it. That's my take.
No. I had a cousin that was a Navy corpsman and ended up, the Marines do not have medical staff. They get them from the Navy. So my cousin ended up being the medic for a long-range patrol platoon in the Marine Corps in Vietnam. He's the only guy that made it out.
Wow. That was a hard.
He just recently passed away from Agent Orange. he had that, and the last like 3-4 years of his life were miserable for him. He just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And you kind of take a look at that and you go, this guy basically gave his life for his country. And you know what happened to the Vietnam veterans when they came home after the war? I mean, they got spit on, they got all stuff thrown at them,
Oh
all
my
kinds
God.
of things.
Oh,
It was horrible how these guys
it
were
was
treated.
awful. It was awful. And then a lot of our friends went, and they went to Vietnam and they came back different people. They
Oh,
were not
yes,
the same guys. They were not the same guys. And
exactly.
it was, I mean, one of my, I think it was my cousin. He was my mother's first cousin, so he was my second cousin. When he came back from the war, we had to go into the room because he stayed with us for a little while. When he came into his room, you had to come in making a lot of noise. You couldn't like just tip up on them. You couldn't do it because they would jump up and they would, just be, they call it post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
So now,
PTSD.
that's the part. That's the part I couldn't understand. I'm like, wouldn't that change anybody? Another human being watching another human being being destroyed, and you doing it
Yeah,
because this is what your
it's
country needs you to
craziness.
do.
It is.
And it changes people. It changed them, and he was. I didn't even know that black people got depressed, but I mean, because I didn't know why. I didn't know I'm a kid. What do I know? What's depression? I don't know nothing about no depression. What? He got severely. He just was. He was a different guy when he came back, and he never did. He didn't even come halfway back, to himself. He couldn't hold down a relationship. He couldn't keep a job. Then he got strung out on drugs. They put him in
Oh,
rehab, and they said he was suffering from depression. I was like, and people don't realize how many people are suffering from mental illness, especially now.
exactly.
That's why I think what you guys are doing with the Polk Institute and nurturing people and allowing them to learn a skill set. This is, you're teaching people how they can become the CEO of their own company. And I'm sure, have there been people that said to you, well, I don't know if I could do this. And then they found out they could. You could see the
Oh, yeah.
fire in them.
Yeah. We've had that. All they lacked was a confidence. But you get them out in front of a crowd during a pitch competition, then they realize that they can actually talk to people about what it is and what their idea is and give feedback. And that really starts to build confidence in a lot of these people.
That has a lot to do with it. Like I said earlier, if you believe that you can do a thing and you put your mindset to it, you can do a thing. Okay, except for jumping up on the pole, mother love. I got that. Okay. And it's the same thing. If you think that you're going to fail at it, you're going to find all kind of obstacles in your way why you cannot do it. And I was like, okay, but why not try it? Why not try it at least once? See, I'm like you. I'm willing to try it. I'll try it once. Okay, I'll try it once. I'm not gonna do it, and if it's gonna cost me shoe money, I'm really not gonna do it. Like people go to Vegas and they just get a casino their money. I'll stand here and give me the money that you get ready. Get to this machine. I'm gonna go over here to the shoe store and give me a nice pair of shoes, and I'll come back and show you what your money was. I had a hard time gambling. No. Some stuff just ain't meant for me. And gambling is one of them. And saying it's a good thing you're a good looking guy because you crazy to me. It's no fun if you don't fly the plane upside down. Okay, only a pilot would say that. Now, did you ever think about flying commercially? Becoming an airline pilot? Hello? Oh, he stopped moving. Oh, no. Can you hear me? I could see him, his face stop moving. Oh, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. He stopped talking. Can you hear me at all? Well, we got the gist of it. We got most of it. We're having more technical difficulties. I don't know what's wrong with Tim's phone and Tim's picture. But, oh, wait. Oh, now he gone completely. Oh, Lord. Well, I guess that was the end of it. Thank you very much, everybody. And thank you, Tim. I don't know what happened. The whole thing went down.